The next point on the agenda is what we call a fireside chat. There's no fire, but there will be a chat. And I like you to interfere. So, you know, we run around. We have someone with a mic. Just don't sit back. Make your brain work. And if you got any questions, please come on stage. Because I want to have a fireside chat about the role of AI in the modern cyber operating center, in your modern SOC. And to do this, I have on stage, and please welcome, with a hand of applause, Harish, Haridasan. He was Group Product Manager of Group Cyber Defense at Booking.com. Harish. And he's followed by Shahar Vaknin, who's the field CTO at Hunters. Harish, welcome.
Thank you.
Just elaborate on your role within Booking.com.
Sure.
That would be really nice.
Nice. Hello, everyone. I'm Harish. I work as a group product manager with Booking. My role is there to lead and run the product and services for Group Cyber Defense. Be with them for like 5 years, and overall I have like 15 years of experience in industry. Expertise lies in building and running security programs, especially building and scaling out security operations centers.
And you do this from the office, from Booking.com here in Amsterdam?
I'm based out of Amsterdam.
Rembrandtplein?
No, like we moved to a new campus in Oosterdok. It's near the central station.
Closer to Almere, where you live?
No, like in Amsterdam. Central.
Yeah, okay. And Shahar, you're from Hunters. You're field CTO. What is a field CTO?
Okay,
You've got no boots on?
Interesting question. So most of my career has been around cybersecurity research, most of it around security research and threat hunting. In the past 4 years, I've led Hunters Team Axon, which is the threat hunting team in Hunters. Doing research, hunting for attackers, basically. And now I've recently moved to the field CTO role, where I'm providing my security expertise to Hunters field, sales, marketing, going to conferences, meeting with customers. Yeah.
To tell the story. Your colleague there is right in the back, is Roderick. Hi, Roderick. You've got a mic. It's probably on.
I don't know. Yes, it works.
I hate those throw boxes. You know those throw boxes within? Everybody keeps them throwing away. We've got Roderick. He's not going to leave you.
I'm the box with the heartbeat.
Yeah, there's a box with a heartbeat. So if you have any questions, just start waving, interfere, because it should be an open talk. Now, AI, there can't be a conference if there isn't a mention of AI. I always say it's €5 for the pot. But AI Copilot, of course, Microsoft is pushing it all the way. If you look at the Gartner hype cycle, it's just up going there. Everybody talks about it. I'd like to ask you some questions and just get the discussion how AI is changing the whole security operating center, things there. Is AI already transforming security operations in the SOC today? You're nodding your head already.
Yeah.
How does it change that then?
So I just want to start first with, as cybersecurity professionals and practitioners, one of our key responsibilities, like how effectively and swiftly we can reduce cyber risk. So the key thing is like effective and swift. And AI does give us that leverage where we can quickly go after this. So, for example, in our case, like we have been like one of the early adopters of AI in security operations. 3 years back, like we moved away from our legacy SIM-based, rule-based SIM to an AI-powered XDR platform. And it has helped us in solving the current challenges that we're having at that point of time, which was how to detect anomalies across multitude of vast volumes of telemetry that we were collecting. And that really helped us to solve that problem.
That is already in place.
Yeah, we have already in place. Yep.
Because there's a lot of talks about AI and it's coming, and it's always a big promise, and everybody's trying, but it's really there in place and already working in SOCs.
Yeah, so the hype around AI is crazy right now, as you're probably all familiar. eventually security is a question of data, right? Like, and in this area where we see huge amount of data, especially in the SIM industry, and the thing that AI is really good at is analyzing data and providing knowledge based on the data. And today in a SOC analyst, basically humans, having really hard time analyzing these petabytes of data in order to detect attacks, investigate attacks, do the entire decision-making process. And I think that AI is really, really good at it.
Yeah.
But what we see now, that's only the beginning. It's only...
Why is it only the beginning?
Because I think that the potential of AI inside the Security Operations Center is huge. Now it's mostly around like the co-pilot that we see for many vendors, like providing a ChatGPT-like assistance. You ask questions, he answers based on the data that you have. But in the future, I see potential for detection engineering, for proactively providing like mitigation steps and detections to implement inside.
Faster and swifter.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the role of hunters in this whole process?
So hunters, the way that hunters work is by ingesting all of the security data sources from the organizations, and it puts us in a place where we have visibility into the entire attack surface of the organization, cloud, identity, EDR, network, and it gives us the benefit of the ability to correlate these data sources to get much smarter and more reliant detections and conclusions and provide them to the analysts.
We talked about a ticket swap, a ticket master just here before. 560 identities are stolen. When such an article arises in the press, you're probably not cheering at that moment. You're just thinking, shit, it's not going to happen to us, is it?
Absolutely, like, you know, we were talking.
And I don't know how many customers there are in the booking. I have a booking account as well.
So see, like with any emerging threat, right? Like one of the biggest. So again, AI really helps us in taking that feedback, tuning out.
Too many false positives will.
Right.
Yeah.
So overall, I think with all this promising.
And then you get the boy cry wolf, and nobody responds anymore.
What we really like care about is, you know, how it simplifies the job for the analyst, but still the analyst needs to do the final validation to make sure that we are not missing any aspect of threat, because at least in the current form of AI, it still cannot reason what a human can do, and cannot distinguish between, you know, the black and white. Sorry, it can does that, but it is not very good in understanding the gray part of situation.
The thing is, if you talk to, especially over the last few years with lots of organizations, they always put the cyber risk for a part back to their users. And a lot of users in networks, and if you are a hospital or you are a factory, okay, we're all ICT-minded, and maybe we should be alert somewhere, but maybe the average worker on the finance department isn't interested. Maybe the nurse on the floor is totally not interested. AI could help them, and maybe around identities. Just one small example, I've talked to the security officer of quite a large, one of the top 20 local governments in the Netherlands. He was in the cafeteria during lunch, heard his finance colleagues behind him say, I think we've got a problem. He didn't call Houston, but it was in Hoofddorp. And then he found out that during the whole process, one of his workers somewhere on a department not very important got a mail from a well-known contact supplier of the local government asking to check some details about assignment. She did. She came in her Microsoft 365 area, left her credentials, and then, can I say that? Shit hits the fan. They were wandering around in the network, changing overnight the account number of another supplier, and that supplier asked after 30 days, where is my money? And they, we've transferred it. Okay, there are all kinds of things in place, but can AI help to prevent these kind of things? people moving around in your network, asking credentials. 'Cause you ask, okay, the user in question maybe made a mistake, but can you blame her?
So that's a classic like business email compromise attack, right? Attacker sends some suspicious email, takes over a legitimate email, and then uses it for laterally move to another mailboxes. And I think there are a lot of like breadcrumbs along the way, which should help you detect such kind of attacks. And they are all like hidden in your data, hidden in your logs. And based on, as I mentioned before, like based on correlation of the different log sources, like if I take this scenario, so my email security appliance and Office 365 in this example, if I can tie them together and say, okay, I've seen some suspicious login to this employee account, which I haven't seen before, and then I've received, and then this employee account sent some other mail and did some lateral movement, something that is anomalous compared to his last behavior, I can like raise the suspicion and then provides an alert. And even furthermore, provide like the investigation guidelines and mitigations, and in the future also prevent it.
And protect more. Who think they've never been hacked before, or there are no intruders in their network? This is an honest audience. Sometimes there are 3 or 4, they raise their hand. They've got a hell of a day for them. So everybody, you're not safe, are you? No. What do you think, Roderick? Is it safe? No.
No comments.
No?
No comments.
No comment? If you got your stuff, they're safe. But what do you have to consider if you start integrating AI within your cybersecurity? Because who've already integrated AI in their security environment? Are there hands? No one? Just ask. Could you go over there, Roderick?
Yeah, sure. Can you stand up, please? Hi.
Just tell us what you've made a mistake now.
Why?
Roderick,
So what we do?
failure number 1.
What is your question?
Because you've implemented already AI into your security.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just state your name and your company, so we know where we.
I'm working for Lookout, and we leveraging AI to get threat detections done, and we also using it internally through our SSE platform to detect, for an example, someone uploads data to our Google Drive folders.
Was it easy to do, or was it?
No, especially the usage for internal employees was kind of challenging.
Why?
You have to set policies how the AI responds.
And there were no policies. You didn't have any.
Yeah.
You just started from scratch.
Absolutely. It was tough to educate
Okay.
employees how to.
Then you must have made mistakes. You're among friends. Nothing will leave this room. If you could give all your friends just a piece of advice, which are the first 2 things to keep in mind? Don't fall for this.
I would say start with a monitor period to see how it responds and reacts, or you put it live. Start with a bigger pilot group, and then go full on with it, because, that's the only way to learn if you put it in production.
Yeah? Do you agree on that, Harish?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, that's easy.
We got another one.
I'm trusted with the microphone. I'm just wondering.
First name and the company.
Dan Eikel, Solite.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, what's I don't see the benefit of AI, because if everyone has
Just repeat that for once.
I don't see the benefits of AI in this context of the examples given.
No?
Because if you have the basics in place, network segmentation, multi-factor authentication, hardening, you're logging, just very strict firewall settings and everything.
Then you don't need.
Everything would have been mitigated.
Who does agree? You don't get many friends during the coffee break.
No. But just wondering, because
Shahar, could you respond?
Yeah, so I said that I've worked on many incidents and worked with many SOC teams in the past, and I agree. If the network is perfect, everything is restricted, like highly mitigations and stuff, so most of the attacks wouldn't happen. But I haven't seen a perfect organizations until now. You'll always have this missing firewall rule, you'll have this this network part that your IT or security teams forgot about, and then the attacker comes from there. And there's always like the human part, right? Which is the biggest vulnerability, as we say. Social engineering, it's very, very hard to detect this kind of stuff. So,
if you talk about the personal, the human part of it, how do SOC analysts adapt to the changing landscape with AI? Because their work is going to change. How did it go with Booking.com? How do you adapt?
So say like AI is really a transformative technology. It has really like grown leaps and bounds in the last couple of years. So it's not matter like we should adopt it, it's when you should be adopting it. So in our case, like the analyst really sees that using AI can definitely help them do their work much, much faster and much better. For example,
yeah, but always, if something's new happens, everybody always takes 2 steps back, and people are not that much for change generally.
I might differ that on the SOC part, because one of the key problem with SOC is a lot of turnarounds. A lot of people leave, and that's primarily because there's a huge learning curve, and second, the monotonous nature of the work in security operations.
So what's the average lifespan of a SOC employee?
Like in my experience, like an analyst typically stays around like 1.5 years. So you spend like a lot of time in kind of growing and enabling them, but then at some point of time they feel detached from the work because of the monotony of the
and
work.
then the knowledge also leaves.
And goes away. So the way like we approach, and I think the analysts, at least in our case, see the benefit of like how AI is enabling them to do or automate things that is redundant or that is repetitive. And they themselves feel a lot more empowered when they have like co-pilots or assistants around them to do a lot of grunt work for them. And for the business perspective, it's nice because we are able to solve like most of the detections in a very short period of time. So it means that we are able to quickly address the risk at hand and enabling the business to operate securely. So I think it's a win-win situation. I know like there are certain considerations, but overall, at least on our side, it's a very positive sentiment on adopting AI on our operations.
yeah, so I definitely agree. Like AI should be a tool to help analysts,
Yeah.
and empower them rather than replacing them. So analysts need to understand better on how to utilize AI to make their job better.
Does that require another mindset of the analyst?
Yeah. I think it requires from all of us as security practitioners a new perspective, a new mindset, that there's like a new player in town, which is AI, which can analyze data much faster, but also makes a lot of mistakes. So we need like to understand exactly how we can use it and utilize it correctly, but with caution.
And also want to add, like, as security practitioners, we should also start relooking into like how we tailor the job description of analyst going forward.
Yeah.
There should be like an element of how technology would be augmenting their role going forward. Because I still find like, age-old job descriptions for analysts, which I believe in the age of AI is definitely not relevant. So we have to like keep pace with how we hire people, especially for those roles.
You need another kind of analyst, maybe with another kind of background.
So I believe like as we move forward, the analyst would be expected to understand like how AI and ML works.
Will there ever be an AI analyst?
I think that's
That's
the vision.
A step too far.
I think that's our vision eventually, and then once we'll have AI doing all the basic stuff, I'll say, or the stuff that the SOC teams doesn't like to do, or repetitive stuff,
Yeah.
it will allow the SOC analysts to do the much more complex work, track attackers, implement detections, implement investigation and remediation playbooks. So I think it will take a lot of the work parts of the analyst and will enable the analyst to do like much more complex work, but rather fully replacing the analyst.
We'll still need some.
Yeah.
If we go further in the wider world and looking through threats and what's coming, what role does AI now plays in threat hunting and proactive defense already? Because we've talked about data analysts and but proactive defenses.
So I happen to do like threat hunting a lot in the past few years, and eventually, as I mentioned at the beginning of it, it's like security is a question of data and how we analyze it and the directions that we can slice and dice the data in order to find these anomalies and these more advanced attackers that usually evade these traditional security tools. And I think the role of AI will be here is connecting the external and threat intelligence that we have all around the internet and from dark web and etc. with.
Because that's something that's all beyond a lot of people's scope, what's happened on the darknet, but more with security firms, with all their pods and finding out what's really happening behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the real thing would be connecting it with my organizational data. So I have like some IPs I found out on the dark web, and then I can understand my organizational context, which are the sensitive parts of my network, and only like check there or give more sensitivity to these areas, to my crown jewels. So I think the connection between the on-prem and organizational data with the threat intelligence, external data, is the key that AI can really help with.
It could really happen. Otherwise, you would just, again, confronted with a leak somewhere where you didn't expect it, and it could have been predicted.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't know who watched Newsuur last night. There was about the local government in Netherlands using WebEx. And there was a little bit more than a hole, I believe, making it very vulnerable and into government. And then we've got all the, how we call them, non-European players in the world who might be really interested in what we're doing.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you think if you might give a vision for, and a vision on AI is probably not going further than a week or three, but try to extend it to somewhere in December. What do you think is going to change within Booking.com with use of AI in your SOC?
So I think we'll be definitely looking how we can further optimize our security operations and also make like it's a great place to work for our analysts. So considering these two, like one of the areas that we are trying to solve is, or have willingness to solve, is response at scale. How we can make sure that the time taken now to investigate, triage, and coming to a conclusion and then doing necessary response, how we can really shorten that up. And this is where like all the advancements in predictive and generative AI comes to play. With all these purpose-built co-pilots and agents, it's really leading to an emergence of autonomous SOC, aka AI native SOC. It's not like a science fiction. It's definitely a reality that's going to play down the line. So how you are going to embrace that and how you're going to prepare for that and how you're going to lay the foundation for that is what we are thinking next. So yeah, that's from my side.
And from a hunter's point of view?
So I think that we're only at the beginning of the AI revolution,
Yeah.
as I mentioned. It's definitely going to change the way that we do cybersecurity analysis and responding to incidents. And we should, we see it right now with the Copilot, and the conclusion that it provides to analysts based on the data, and I think it's only in the beginning. We'll see more proactive stuff generated from the AI. We'll see some other areas which it will be able to come in, for example, noise reduction, correlation, detection engineering, etc. So I think it's going to expand, and we need to learn how to utilize it perfectly with limits.
And then you have to realize in a company, what are you actually, because Booking.com might look like a booking platform for hotel rooms and holiday homes, but actually you're just a data firm.
Yeah, data is the new oil, right? So any business who is there to service customer, and if their inclination is to offer tailored and personalized service, then definitely that strategy is powered by AI and advanced technology. So it goes hand in hand.
Thank you very much. Is there still, yeah, there's a question. Roderick, you have to run and hold the mic.
Yeah, hello.
You just don't listen, do you, Roderick? First name and company.
Okay, Jacob Yildiz, local government.
Yeah.
AI, good stuff. But the other side, let's say the enemy, will also use the AI. So we are now on the same level without AI. And tomorrow you have AI. The other side has also the AI.
It's just a weapon race.
Yeah. How do you deal with that?
I can probably take that. So see, definitely on the offensive side, AI is definitely a force. It really helps to develop very custom campaigns. We are already seeing business email compromise kind of maturing so much that it really looks that the email has come from somebody trustworthy. But on the other side, this offensive force can be countered by using AI in defense as well. AI does a tremendous job in anomaly detection. It really helps with adaptable response. So all these things is definitely going to gear up against offensive AI. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game. It's not like one would always be others, but then it's still going to amplify the dilemma, the defender's dilemma, right? The attackers need to get just hit once, but then the defender has to always get it right. So in that sense, and this is where as practitioners we should look how we can get that leverage of doing things faster. And AI is definitely a key tool that can get you there.
Roderick, you can better stay in the middle, then you have to walk less.
My name is Robert from DAD. I have a question for Harish. You mentioned SIEM, but when you look at a SOAR-based SOC, when you are depending on different vendors, how then you then just implement an AI platform that solve all the dangerous detections? Have you built your own AI platform, or you used some vendors, or?
So to that question, so we use an integrated AI-powered platform like Hunters. So that really helps us with a lot of steps in the incident response, so detection, and then automated triage and investigation. And then to the last mile, we use automation to orchestrate our response. But then, as I was mentioning, as the technology is maturing, where we have more purpose-built small language models, we'll see autonomous activities happening in SOC. So there would be models who would be taking care of investigation. There would be models who will be taking care of response part. There would be models who will take care of your hunting part. So over a period of time, you are really going to leverage these SLMs, let's say, to optimize how you run your security operations. And the benefit of that is you are able to do and mitigate your risk at a faster speed, which means you are allowing your business to operate more securely, and that is money.
Yeah, I see you're nodding, so that answers your question, doesn't it? Still, one more question now? Okay, let me thank Shahar, Vaknin, and Haridasan from Booking.com and for Hunters for their insight. You will be here today or not? Are you leaving now? You'll be here for lunch?
Yeah, we'll be here, yeah.
You'll be here. So you can attack them, and if you don't want to ask questions in the audience and you're scared of Roderick, who's a really friendly guy, I just have to mention. Please give him a hand of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.